Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here with Ross and we're working on his Jeep. Tell me more about your Jeep. What is it?
It's a 2001 Jeep Grand Cherokee WJ chassis. I got it from my father-in-law. It was in the family for over 10 years. My wife drove it while she was in Colorado going to school, and he said, I want to sell it, so I basically bought it off him.
Yeah, and this is a 4.0, so 6-cylinder with the 242 transfer case. It's honestly not bad condition, 175,000 miles. He did the total radio just like on my Jeep, same one. Do you like it?
I love it.
Was I lying?
You were not lying.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a great purchase.
Super fast.
Yep, that's a great radio. So what we're doing today is he has a bunch of parts. Let me go ahead and show them. We have the Iron Rock 4-inch lift kit right here. This is pretty much everything that comes with it, but he does have long arms coming.
I do have long arms coming.
This Jeep is gonna get the full treatment, front and rear long arms with the 4-inch lift, and it has, you know, all the goodies. So we're working on the front end right now. So we got the tie rod and the drag link, and these are a pain to replace, but you can do it.
Never do it again.
No, but what's your recommendation if you're doing that? Just do it, huh? Yeah, don't replace the joints. Anyways, right now we are gonna start putting in the springs, get it lifted in the front, and then he's gonna do the rear because I won't be here. So we have all the steering parts off. We're gonna take off the track bar, then the shocks, and we have the sway bar disconnected already, so should be pretty simple to replace the springs. And he has new coil isolators that you definitely want, and we'll see what kind of surprises are under them. Well, as we were trying to take off the track bar, the welded nut on the back broke, and then we tried taking it out, stripped out, so we tried to cut it, still nowhere. So with a little bit of a grinder and some persuasion, we got it out. Let's go.
The entire time.
So the way we did it is we took a grinder. Don't do it through the outside, do it behind this piece of metal here, between the bushing and that, and then you can hammer out the screw through the back. It'll come out, and that's how we did it. All right, so now we can move to actually installing the springs. First thing we're gonna do is take off the shocks. We already have the sway bars off. If the nut on the shock doesn't come off from the top, what you wanna do is come down here, cut this plastic off, use some scissors or shears preferably, and then just grip onto the metal rod and it'll come out. So after you take off everything, make sure to take off the coil compressors and clean underneath. Yep.
Toast.
Nah, you're fine. Yeah, probably toast. You can just replace this piece though. So that's where you want to check it. So we got the springs in. Next thing is the shocks.
Deutsch-Tech.
And these are the Deutsch-Tech shocks. And these come unassembled, so we have to put in the metal brackets that they give us. The box comes with like these type of brackets. These are not gonna fit. The hat. The Iron Rock sends you these brackets, and what we're doing is cutting the edges off at the top. This is how it comes from Iron Rock. Cut those off, and then you're supposed to put some grease in here. And the reason we cut it is because if we put it on this side, it's like really hard to push through. But if you cut it a little bit, it'll just slide right through. I'm holding it with this because it's hot right now. That's all we're gonna do. There we go, that's it. And now we're in, ready to go. And these are, what do you say they were?
Reverse gas shocks.
Reverse gas shocks, so they don't pop out. Now it's time to put this together, and it's pretty simple. I like the way that Iron Rock made the design because you can adjust it without removing any of the bolts on the track bar. Kind of like I have a trail forge, and for me to adjust it, I do have to remove a bolt. So this makes it way easier. And the way you do it is put some anti-seize on the threads, thread it in, and that's it. I mean, obviously put the bolts in, that way it clamps everything down, and you should be good to go. But don't clamp it down until you adjust it. Now when you're doing the track bar, make sure to look at the holes. As you can see, this one, the bolt is smaller than the hole itself because it's welded out over time. So what you want to do here is upgrade the hardware to something a little bit bigger, but you have to upgrade the sleeve in the track bar as well. Or you can weld the washer to the front and the back of this bracket, and that'll hold the bolt in place. If you don't, this will give you death wobble. All right, so we got all the steering components back in, track bar. The stabilizer needs to be bolted on, along with the sway bar disconnects. And then the rear, Ross will do it on his own. And then the rear, Ross will do on his own, just because I don't have enough time today. But I mean, we got a lot of progress on this Jeep. So hopefully next time you see it, it'll be lifted and pretty much ready to go. Okay, so we got this Jeep halfway lifted pretty much. Now that you've lifted the Jeep, is this your first Jeep that you've lifted?
This is my first lifted Jeep, yes.
Okay, and what are some things that you wish you would have known before you did it?
I wish I knew the ball joints and everything were bad. I wish people had maintained really the suspension. I can't stress this enough. You have to do maintenance regardless of how you feel oh, that's not a modification I want to do.
Yeah.
It's safety at that point.
And would you recommend people do maintenance on the Jeep before even ordering a lift kit?
100%.
What would you include in that maintenance? Like, what would that be?
Diff fluid, trans fluid, ball joints, drag link joints, everything.
Everything.
Every single thing.
Yeah, because everything we touched was pretty much worn on this.
Every single thing, every bushing was worn. Things you don't really need to worry about when lifting the Jeep, depending on which kit you go with, is the shocks and the coils.
Yeah.
But definitely the coil insulators.
Yeah, you need that as well. And then also what we noticed on your Jeep is the coil isolator where the bucket, it's rotted out.
Yeah,
so
it got rotted out.
Yeah.
Would have never even guessed.
Yeah, and it looked good everywhere else until we took that off. So that's another thing that you need to be aware of. When you ordered the lift kit, what are some questions that you think you had, or like what did you want to know about ordering a lift kit before you ordered it?
Iron Rock Off-Road actually answered a lot of the questions that I had wanted to ask.
You had messaged them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I emailed them and I, just general questions. They posted on their website because I got the 4-inch WJ foundation lift kit, and they said they were running a 285/70 16.
Oh, okay.
With minor trimming.
So that's about a 32-inch tire.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So that I went with a 17, bumped it up to 33. If I need to cut, I need to cut.
You're gonna have to cut. You're gonna have to cut. So that's
Until I
another
get the long arms.
That's another thing you got to be aware of with tire size, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to cut. If you're afraid to cut, take it to a professional.
Or do a smaller tire.
Do a smaller tire.
Yeah. 31s with a 4-inch lift, you might not even have to cut. Maybe the bumper in the front a little bit, but with 33s, you're gonna have to trim.
Definitely gonna have to trim.
Yes. Anything else that you would want to add?
I just gotta get this Jeep done.
Okay, so you got all these Iron Rock parts. Now, is that a company that you would say you recommend? I know you haven't driven the Jeep, but just seeing all the parts, what would you say?
It is a company I would recommend. They appear to be very solid parts. There are some things I wish they could have done, like just pushing in the bushings and setting up the front shocks.
Oh, the shocks, yeah. But that's also not their brand, Doge-Tech, right?
Yeah, that's Doge-Tech. Yeah. So it's not their brand, but it's just something that I wish they would have done before.
That's like something small, but the overall good experience,
overall,
right?
Good experience,
and then you ordered the long arm kit, front and rear?
I did order the long arm kit, front and rear, as well as the transfer case and catalytic converter skid plate.
And will they see that on the channel?
Possibly.
Yeah, that's right. And just to recap on a couple of the things that we're talking about is do the maintenance stuff first. You definitely want to upgrade the steering, but the steering to take the joints off is honestly really hard. There's a bunch of dirt that gets trapped in there and stuff like that. So I think we spent maybe like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours just changing the joints out on the tie rod and drag link. So just be aware of that. You're going to need 2 pipe wrenches because that's the only way we were able to make it work. One thing that we didn't say is also upgrade the upper control arm bushings. Those are a pain to replace, but definitely necessary. Most of these Jeeps have not been maintenance correctly, and you will have a lot of parts that you need to replace even before starting to order parts for the Jeep to lift it. The A-arm on this blue Jeep was also shot, so that's another thing that you're gonna have to be aware of. He's going long arms, so it's not a big deal for him, but for you, if you're not going long arms, this might be. Iron Rock also sells that coil bucket. If it's just the top piece just rotted out, not the whole thing, you can just replace that, weld it in, and do your research before lifting a Jeep. Make sure that the parts you're ordering is everything you need for the kit. For 4-inch, I do recommend long arms or at least adjustable control arms. The long arms just make it feel better on road for sure. I'm gonna link down below a Jeep page that I use a lot to ask questions. There's a lot of questions already asked, so you can just search them up. And they also have a guide on the perfect lift kit for your Jeep. It's not a lift kit, you have to like piece together the lift kit. It's exactly what I use to lift my Jeep, that same form. It's on the Facebook page. So if you don't have a Facebook, just make a random account. It helps a lot. A lot of the groups on there, a lot of the community for the Jeep WJ pages is very helpful. And also make sure to check out najaraoffroad.com. We have some parts for the WJs, like LED light upgrades on there. So make sure to get something that helps support the channel and helps us keep making videos. And also we do a monthly giveaway on the website. So if you purchase something, each dollar is an entry towards the giveaway. So this month we're doing one of those with Toto radios actually. So make sure to check that out. Let's get back to the video. All right, so that's it for today's video. I hope this video helped you guys out. Shout out to Ross for letting me come film. Anything you have to say?
Keep Jeeping.
Keep Jeeping. All right, guys. Peace.